Hello guys, welcome to D&L Motion. Today we're going to be doing a headlight restoration on our 2003 Ford Fusion 1.4 turbo diesel. This is a car that we bought for £300 and we're going to be trying to get it up into its best condition as cheaply as possible. This hasn't got an MOT at the moment, that's why it's in the garage, but we've got three faults that we kind of know about. One is the headlight. It's all yellows and clouded, that's what we'll be tackling today. And then the other one is a maybe engine mount. We're going to be doing a full detail and full clean of this car and hopefully get it through an MIT. And then this will be like the base for us to do welding, to do rust work, to do paint. This will just be an all-round project car. This is one owner from Luke, I'm the second owner, and yeah, this will be what we'll be using. So for the headlight restoration, we're using an Autoglim headlight restoration kit from Halfords. This is about £30, but if you have a trader's card like me, it's £21. In it, you will need a drill for it. So with the kit, you get a drill pad that sticks the sanding paper and all the buffers to. So you get a buff pad for the compound and that at the end. Your restoration compound, your 3000 grit wet sand, that'll be used at the end, 2000 grit wet sand, your 1500 and 800 sanding paper. You also get the drill bit included, but I'm just using it on another car that I've used it on, which is our Rover 45, which you'll see in another video in the future. Let's crack on with it. So first of all, you're going to need your 800 grit sandpaper, stick it onto the end of the pad. Obviously the clothy side is what sticks to the drill. Mask off all your painted areas so you do not damage them. To us it's not a problem because obviously this car isn't really worth much to us, but then it is at the same time. But all you're going to do is put your pad on, keeping medium to high pressure. Obviously have the drill spinning, going side to side, up and down in a circular motion until you get like a white milky residue coming off of it. Every time the pad stops having a sanding effect and keep clogging up, just wipe off the headlight, wipe off this, replace the sanding paper, get another 800 grit, and then go over it again until you get a nice finish. So now you can see the pad's got all clogged up and that, and the headlight has got a full milky residue. So we're going to wipe that off. Really want to use a bit of tissue in that. Grab another pad, as Lewis is going to be showing you, well, is providing me with a bit of tissue to wipe off the headlight. We're going to grab another 800 grit and just go over it again, making sure we get the best finish we can do. And I believe that should be an 800 there. So we stick it on, and it's the same thing again. I recommend using two sanding things for each headlight. It's just a rule of thumb for me. That's what I like to keep to. If you need to use more, obviously you can use more. But I've done this, used this kit on a few headlights. They get a really deep scratches, like really deep that you don't think you can get out. Because I have used them on a friend of mine vehicle who accidentally clipped something with their light. But let's just carry on and see how we can get this headlight. So now we're done with that, we're going to wipe it off again, whatever I've done with it. Wipe all the residue off, and now you can see how clouded and faded it is. We've hopefully taken off all the top yellowing off of the headlight. So So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a 1500 grit. Stick it on the pad and continue doing the same thing as you've done with the 800. So side to side, up and down. Make sure you get around the edges, because the edges are the most important part. Well, it's not the most important, but obviously you want it to look all even and nice. So as you can see, it's all clogged up now, and then obviously the milky residue is still on there. So now it's looking a lot more clear. So now we're going to change over pads. Obviously, as I said, rule of thumb, just use 2 on each headlight. Make sure you have enough, and you don't waste the kit all on one headlight when it's not really necessary. If it's necessary, just buy another kit. They're cheap, they're affordable, and it's better than spending 200 quid on new headlights, especially if you have a new car. So now, obviously, another 1500 grit. Let's carry on doing the same thing. So now we've finished the second 1500. Wipe off the headlight again, and that is looking quite considerably a lot better. So the next stage is to get a 2000 grit pad. So the 2000 grit pad is this one just here. It's obviously got the foam backing on it. This one is obviously applies to the your drill the exact same, but this you'll be using for wet sanding. So this will buff out all your scratch marks that you'll be doing, obviously using the other sandpapers. So you're going to wet it, as Lewis is going to do for me. And then he's just going to wet the headlight. Really want a spray bottle, but we haven't got one. And make sure you get the top. Make sure you completely cover the whole headlight. Give it a wipe round, and then the same as we've been doing before, up and down, side to side motions. And this should really buff out the headlight and bring a nice shine to it.
It sticks to me.
Right, now we have wet sanded it. Obviously you can see it's come out a lot better. But you're going to wipe it off, make sure you get everything off of it, try and best. You don't need to dry it, because when you use the 3000 grit sanding pad, you'll be using it as a wet sand as well. So take off your 2000. Obviously I've got the 3000 pad given to me. Wet the 3000 pad, re-wet the headlight, and then hopefully it should bring it out a lot better. If it's still looking a bit faded like this, hopefully we can go over the headlight again and bring it all out. This is not something you're going to get first try, and but after a couple goes over, it should be looking perfect for you.
Rob looks perfect. If you want, at the end of the video.
So now that all done, you're going to take off your 3000 grit pad, grab some tissue, wipe it off so it's all dry and clear. And now it should give you a kind of a good look of how your headlight's looking. I am quite happy with how it's looking at the moment. I think there is the potential, thank you Lewis, the potential to get that out even more shinier. So Lewis, do you reckon we go over again to see if we can get any shinier?
Yeah.
We've got the equipment we don't need to do on the other headlight, so I think we just send it. So obviously, huh? Yeah, more than likely. So next, so go if you're going back over, it's the same process. I'm just going to use it. Now we're obviously just going to wipe it off again, get it all nice and dry. It is looking a million times better than it once would, and it would 100% get through an MOT. Now we're going to get our buffing pad and put that onto the end of the drill. We're going to get our buffing or restoration compound.
I'll give it here.
That's all good. I got it. And just put some onto the pad. That should be enough. And then just dab it on to the headlight. Start from where there's the most. Just smear it in. And then turn on the drill, and it will be a bit mucky, but that's the part of the game.
Exactly. 18 minutes?
Huh?
18 minutes.
I'm playing there.
Just a little bit at the start, so about 21.
So now with all the compound buffed in and rubbed pretty much, we're going to rub it and to see the final look of it. I'm going to tell you what, I'm over the moon with that. I think that's one of the best finishes I've got from the headlight. I'm just going to stand back and have a look. That looks better than the new one. That looks better than the new one.
It's lighting now, isn't it?
It's not, well, obviously you've got the one we've just done, and we'll take it over to the kind of new one that wasn't yellowed. Obviously we haven't done this one, but from a bit of a far back, ignore our mess, you can't really tell any difference. So I am over the moon with how this has come out. I really do recommend this kit. I think it is absolutely incredible. This works on any cars, new or old, and it just gets your headlights looking absolutely incredible. Even if they're only starting to yellow a little bit, just make sure you go over them. It never hurts, it's only 20 quid and it saves your headlights. Well, thank you for watching, I do appreciate it. There will be more videos on this car, a Rover 45, and we're doing a rebuild on a 125cc moped. So that's all content you'll be seeing over the year, and they'll be put on our channel. Hopefully videos will be weekly or a couple times a week, depending on how much time we have. But we're going to be trying to get this back to
Former glory.
its former glory. This is on 154,000 miles, as obviously as I said, it's a turbo diesel, 1.4, one owner from new, me being the second owner. And we're going to try and get this so it's back on the road nice and glory. This will be teaching us how to paint, how to do some rust work, but I will go into an in-depth video of this when it's got an MOT. We can drive it, and I'll do a test drive of it, and I'll explain the history and the story behind this vehicle and the future plans. Same with my Rover 45, that will be going over a complete overhaul and full restoration done by myself and Lewis,
Hello.
and that will be all content that's coming out over this coming year. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see the content in the future. Have a good night.